So, doing a little camera action right now, and then later I'm going to do a video that's not going to have me. Yay! No Jerry. Right? But it seems like I don't have the processing speed to do multiple things at once. So, in this quick video, I'm going to describe what I need to describe in person. Me to you. Humano, humano. You know what I mean? Not sure. My Spanish is not that good. May have gotten that wrong. Gene is still up, if you see Gene Rosen over there. He may be in the next video, and it may be quite entertaining. So this is actually going to be the dark video, and then I'm going to give you the good stuff. So bad news first, good news next. And I'm not even sure if it's good news, but it's funny news. So funny is always good. One way we can always beat them is our laughter, our good mood. They need you in trauma to perform their trauma-based mind control. So laughter is always great. But there are some things that are pretty dark that need to be talked about, so we need to talk about them, right? You know, we can't just skip them. That wouldn't be appropriate. So we're not going to skip them. What I'm going to do is explain a few things here. And maybe we could start. I know I've talked about this before, and this, you know, I may get a little redundant with this Tesla technology, right? But it's kind of important because I want people to see what I believe is going on here and what has been going on for quite a long time. For a very long time. Again, I want people to look around in their room, from their computer to their phone to their chair that they may be sitting on to their TV that they may be watching, their remote, their coffee table, their desk, their refrigerator, their stove, even their car. In 100,000 years, it will be nothing but dust. Dust. Okay? If we look back through time, we see that, wait a second, our history really hasn't progressed like they said it was. You know, they had knowledge of things greater than what we do now. You see the relationship of the architecture and the Great Pyramids and how it's proportioned to the earth, and certain mathematical things you cannot mistake it, and they just aren't coincidence. Ancient artifacts, if you haven't found one, doesn't mean that they don't exist. But it's my strong belief that if you listen to some of these Indian tribal chieftains, wizards, grand poobahs, whatever you would like to call them, you know, shamans, they tell stories of, you know, gasless light and, you know, ancient people that lived like in domed cities, okay? Which is where the flat earth idea actually comes from. But they don't have to be directly related to outer world entities. They could be parallel entities. They could be us. The guardians of the secrets. Well, what secrets are there? There's secrets that when you know, at least from what my decoding of the Revelations, the Bible, is okay, Earth, a gyroscope. You know, people want to call it all kinds of different things. Gyroscope. let's, for instance, just call it a gyroscope today. Okay? So, Earth, the gyroscope, is gyrating. An electromagnetic gyrating machine flying through space. Now, what happens when you zap a electromagnetic gyroscope? Okay? Even one that you can get to levitate. You can get it all a whack. You know, imagine something that's spinning so fast, all of a sudden it just goes, stops. Water flying in the air, volcanic activity, things shifting all over. Because, I mean, we got to think about it. We got a lot of water underneath us, and we got a lot of lava. Very, very, you know, lubricated oil, you know. Hey, for all we know, maybe, you know, some of that oil that's been taken out of the ground over all these years might actually help us from sliding too much. You know, Blizzy, you cannot walk on the desk. And, you know, who knows? You know? And I think sometimes maybe people might think I'm against Tesla technology. I'm not against Tesla technology whatsoever. I am 100% for it. The problem is, if you really study and look at history, you see, okay, you see this. Don't forget about the gyroscope. Say the Earth is gyroscoping. Get up, gyroscoping, and giant blast just. Okay, so remember that part. But you look at history, and you see that, you know, if there is a progression of man, and there are, you know, a cycle of catastrophe, okay, and the guardians of the sacreds, every time they go through these cycles that basically knock man back to Stone Age, they're going to come out, and they're, you know, they won't have the, you know, the people left to rebuild their technology right away. But each time they, you know, prepare themselves through underground cities, secret places, and are able to survive a few of them here and there that come out, they can come back to rebuild back to the point where they were faster. Okay. And this is my idea here too, is you gotta understand, I think this is a very understood thing that has gone on for a very long time. And there's always this progression to a point where, you know, where this pyramid technology is done again. And now it's being done again, I believe, through some of these hadron colliders and some, you know, of these different things. I mean, you gotta look at the money that's being spent on these things. Ridiculous amount of money for just getting photographs. Ridiculous amount of money just to go, tick, tick, oh, we think we saw something. Doesn't make sense. But if we find these hidden cities all over the world, you know, these cities that were megalithic cities, you know, that were built with huge stones, that were very safe, or underground cities. You see that all through the Middle East, all these constant underground cities. And right now you even see constant digging in the area of the Druze people, where they're building and digging into mountains and building homes. They're actually building homes right under the ground, covering them up with sand and all kinds of things like that. And they have a history. Look at, you know, go look at the underground cities in the Middle East, even in Africa. It's just the wind. Got a blizzard here. Yelling at Blizzy about the blizzard. She gets scared of wind. Blizzy! It's just wind! Or it could be something thrown off the gyroscope. No. But the underground cities. In theory, those are something that's being redone. In America, we have underground cities. Canada, they got them. Australia. You know, they're being built. Russia's built a whole bunch of them. They got them in England. They got them all over. France. You name it. France has got old ones and new ones. Germany. They've been doing it for a long time. And they may know something the Guardians of the Secrets may pass some of this knowledge down. It may not be completely accurate, and or they may just do certain things to, trigger people in the future to do certain things. Okay. You have to look at things, whether we want to call them conspiracy or not, like the New World Airport, and understand its location, and to the underground tunnels in Cheyenne Mountain, and to that mountain range where it's actually very safe with the granite. I mean, because think about it, the granite, I always talk about the granite, seems to last forever. Whether it's those miraculously perfect carved granite balls that we don't know where they came from, so, that show up all over the world, or, these granite monoliths, it seems to be something that lasts a long time. Blizzy! So, when you see people building under the granite, you may have to ask, what are they preparing for? Do they know that, if this place is hit and we can't get out, or they can't get out, or something like that happens and they don't survive, that, well, there's going to be one of these other places throughout the world that do. And that's why they have the Guardians in many places throughout the world, actually everywhere. So, they have some sort of knowledge. And when the pieces fit together, you have to say, hey, wait a second. This all fits kind of in together. Because next time they come out, and like you see the instructions on the Georgia Guidestones, they're going to come out faster and better than they did the last time. And they're going to build up to that point where they get so far in technology yet again. Okay? And of course, it'll be hundreds of generations and whatnot. But each time, it's going to shorten up. Shorten up. I mean, just like anything else. The more you practice something, the quicker you're going to get at it. The better you're going to get at it. The faster you're going to get to completion. Okay. My concern is, when I do look at this, and if we, question these things and say, hey, well, this technology that they are coming back to, this free Tesla technology, we have to question it. Because what it seems to do is also kind of interfere, in a way, with Earth's own gyroscopic frequency. It's natural. And all of a sudden we're building this free, where there's not free, this new power, this energy that goes up into the sky that interferes a little bit. It's just like when you turn on, some people, older people might remember this, when you turned on a TV station or a radio station, you moved the antenna a little bit so you didn't get that crossover from the other station or whatever, I remember I used to have my sister, hold the coat hanger, put the coat hanger on top of the TV antenna at the TV in the basement, Move it that way. Stand over there. Yeah, don't move. Remember that? Some of you don't remember that. But, frequencies can interfere. And who's not saying that every time they progress to this point and create this free energy, it does somehow interfere and actually cause the whole interaction to happen. And who says that they don't know this and want it to happen? Because it's part of, what they know. That cycle goes on. They want to kill it. If you think about it, when it comes down to it, killing people in a slow, as crazy as it sounds, killing people in a slow, sick way is a lot better than just lining them up and shooting them, right? You almost have to study different ways on how humanity will handle certain things and how you can maintain population. But you have to blame these people for the population in the first place. They wanted a population boom during the industrial age, but they also needed the industrial age so they can progress farther in science. What these people do is a very strange, bizarre thing. And who am I to criticize them for what they do? I'm Jerry, so that's who I am. So I'm going to criticize them for what they do. Because what they do, I believe, is kind of evil. I think they're shit. I think they're kind of bastards. You can't be the one who decides to place God. In theory, your goal should be to save all of humanity properly by letting them know what's going on in the first place. And of course, you would have to maintain kind of a low-key way of doing it. In other words, have people slowly find out, like me, and then introduce this stuff to you so that, wouldn't create mass hysteria, because we know nobody's going to listen to Jerry, right? So they do have their ways. I'm not saying I'm 100% against all of their ways, but the evilness that I see inside their eyes, the monetary evilness, the greed, it's not, they don't get to get paid for doing this. They don't get to be paid and be so evil and live high off the hog for being part of this. I think that should be something that pays like what we should be paying politicians, and that is, you're doing a good service, and therefore you should be proud that you're making less money and doing the right thing. Right? That's how it should be done. That way things get done the right way. But when greed rules and runs how things get done, they ain't gonna get done right. Bet your ass they ain't. So, even though when you really look at everything, some of their things they do make sense, doesn't mean it's okay for their behavior. Their behavior is still not excusable. It needs to be punished for. Okay? So that's what I do believe. But I want you to remember that. It doesn't have to be a comet, but it could be a comet. And not only that, disrupting the frequency of the Earth itself could expose a little bit of a magnetic pull here, then the rock comes in there, and then boom, right? Could happen. Could be a comet, could work the same way too. And it could be, a plasma pool that's generated from Mercury and Venus spinning in opposite directions, which will create a current that will make it strike down to the Earth because we got the ground for the water. And it could happen naturally no matter what we do. And most likely that is how it happens. But when you see history, like at these giant pyramids and megalithic places where it seems like they just stopped all of a sudden, they were approaching upon that antithesis. They were approaching upon that time where they perfected the free energy. And you can bet your ass they did have that free energy hundreds of thousands of years ago, tens of thousands of years ago. You're wondering how they cut those giant rocks and put all those kind of weird shaped cuts into all those giant granite rocks and everything else? Free energy. Not only that, as I think the free energy they're using, if you think about it, think about how we modernize. We use more plastics. Even our tools. You remember the tools that you might have had your grandfather or your father hand you down? I remember my uncle gave me an old Makita Sawzall. Freaking thing weighed like a ton. All metal. Go buy them now. They're all freaking plastic. As we progress, everything becomes more disposable, which means it will last even less time. It will disintegrate even faster. So if they were so far advanced, at the point they were at, the equipment they used would have been very disposable, but also very efficient. Things are not always what they tell us. And you have to take all the pieces and put them together. And when you do put them together, they tell you a story that's slightly different than many of the stories we hear online, many of the stories we've been told in school, many of the stories we heard in church, many of the stories we've heard at all. You don't have to believe me. I see one way. You don't have to see my way. I just think what may be kind of important is that we pay attention to some of this free energy and make sure that, for one, it is not hurting us, that they are not using it to hurt us and our society and our people, we the people. And I think we should make sure that, it's not suckered into us so they can make money, that it is more free and independent. Because, look at this yellow vest thing. What was it about? Fuel tax. Let me tell you something. As soon as I move to this free energy, you're going to see a change in how vehicles move on this planet. The combustion engine is going to be a day gone. Planes, they use all their, the jet fuel hoax, that kind of died off. You want to know why? Because they almost use all of their gas to get up into the air, right? When they're up in the air, they barely use any fuel at all. And it don't take much to land. You just basically fall. Okay? Which, when you are falling, you can basically generate power just from the fall itself. People should have studied these things before they got onto all these hoaxes in the first place. But I'm not here to talk about that right now. They've had the energy in the past. I put my money on it. This ain't the first time we've flown. This may be the first time we used the combustion engine to fly. But in the past, I have a feeling we've flown. So, maybe pull up on the internet a rusted old plane and see how fast they rust out and turn to dust. Don't think it would take more than maybe a few hundred years for just about every part to turn into dust on an airplane. Okay? Just wanted to touch on that. I know it's a little dark, and I'm not saying this kind of stuff would happen tomorrow or anytime soon. I think when it happens soon, you'll notice. But there's more to meets the eye when it comes to the people that we're dealing with. And they want to sell all these other ideas. So we don't go looking down the right hole. And the one thing they aren't talking about something, if you think about it, this is almost a conspiracy theory that they should be selling us. Right? How crazy does that sound? That people may have had computers in the past and telephones and refrigerators and stoves and all kinds of... I'm not saying they had them the same way as we did. But they had advanced technology in the past. How do you think they got into those tunnels? All those deep, dark tunnels, and you don't see no smoke on the ceilings? Any darkened residue on the ceilings? How do you think they got into those deep, dark tunnels under the pyramid? You don't see no smoke on the ceilings or the walls. Yeah, you watch that wind, Blizzy. You make sure that wind stays in line. Anyways, I'm going to enjoy the blizzard with my Blizzy. Till next time. Try and think. Who knows what they're up to? They want to keep us from really finding out something like that. Because what would happen then? Then we would want to demand to be part of the group to make sure that our ancestors get this secret knowledge, the hidden knowledge, so that they could be better and well off the next time around. So they have the information to succeed the next time around, right? Why should they get to hog it? What makes them think it's okay to be so greedy that they deserve it? And then if you look at the things they've done, programs like mind control through MK Ultra and all these other things to so many different people. No, man, that ain't right. people and societies are not a toy. And the people that seem to be guarding this information think that we're toys. We're not toys. We're humans. And we deserve an equal right as much as they do. Everybody does. An equal say into our ancestors' future. Whether we make it and maybe just the people in Russia are the ones that make it and we don't make it. But they too, those people, their people, or the people in Fiji, or the people in Malaysia, or the people in Korea, or the people in Africa, or Australia, or Britain, or Ireland, you know. They deserve a chance too. Shouldn't just be the ones that the Masons get to choose, because when you look at the people they choose pieces of just crap. They choose crap. No. We need to fight them. We need to get their information. And we need to make sure the right people, right, with the right genes, because their genes ain't the right ones, get the information passed down correctly. Till next time, peoples.
In your dreams.